Green Bay Packers at the Tampa Bay Bucks. As we sit right now, the Bucks are 1 to 1.5 point favorites. There is a couple of pick'ems out there in the market as well. 41.5 to 42 is your total. Guys, just a walking wounded situation for the Bucks, and if they aren't walking wounded, then they're suspended. I don't know who in the hell Tom Brady's going to throw to in this game, but guess what? The injury report came out yesterday for the Packers, and now I don't know who the hell Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to in this game either. Neither team has any receivers at all. It's going to be the game of who in the hell just caught that pass? Like over and over again. I loved my Packers position earlier in the week. I knew that the suspension was going to get upheld for Mike Evans. I knew Chris Godwin wasn't going to play. I knew Julio Jones' injury history, so he likely wasn't going to go. I thought it was a fantastic spot to get on the Packers to +8 and get them up in a teaser leg, which I did, and I do have in the account. I don't love it near as much anymore when his top 4 receivers all don't practice on Thursday. Allen Lazard gets downgraded for the Packers as well, so I don't know, man. I still think it's a low-scoring game, so having the Packers at 8, I think is still good for me in all of this. But Adam, when I look at this, I think if I knew now what I knew, if I knew then what I know now, I would have just passed on this because there's just literally the infinite variables in this. It seems like it's going to be like 1930s football with both teams just lining up and running at each other for 60 straight minutes because there's nobody to throw the ball to. So not in love with that Packers leg like I thought I was going to be.
Interestingly, 1930s football, that was Tom Brady's first year, and here he is in 2022, still getting the job done. Look, I have bet Tampa each of the first 2 weeks. I have won with Tampa each of the first 2 weeks. I want to bet Tampa again in this spot. I need to see that Tom Brady's going to have somebody to throw the ball to before I get that bet down. If I'm going to be on any side, I'm going to be on Tampa. I'm just waiting for a final injury report because of this. I told you earlier, the Tampa Bay defense, to me, looks extremely real. They have the best Pro Football Focus coverage grade in the league through 2 games. That's not a mirage. We know who Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis are. We know what this team looks like when they have Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks up front. That, of course, is a major question as to when they'll have those 2 guys together. Now, all of that said, we thought the Green Bay defense was going to be elite as well. Not yet. It hasn't really shown itself thus far because Chicago didn't make them do anything. Right? We have no idea if the Green Bay defense is going to be what we thought, but we do know PFF grade, they're 24th through the first 2 weeks of the season. So if you have the team that has the best coverage grade in the league against Aaron Rodgers and a group of receivers where we have no idea who's healthy and they weren't good in the first place. And by the way, an Aaron Rodgers who has been increasingly bad against pressure over the last 3 years. The numbers have gotten pretty rough on Aaron Rodgers when he doesn't have time to throw. I think my evaluation with this is not all that dissimilar to New Orleans and Carolina, where I look at the Tampa Bay defense and say, what is it that Green Bay is going to be able to get done against them? So I'm waiting on the injury report. If I'm anywhere, I'm on Tampa for a 3rd straight week.
Steven, all I can say is overs on Leonard Fournette touches, overs on Aaron Jones touches, over on AJ Dillon touches. Like there's going to be a lot of running in this game for sure. Tampa had to go sign friggin' Cole Beasley off the streets to come in and play. I mean, like it's a bad scenario for both of these teams. If anything, maybe an under, even with a 42, as low as a 42, maybe even an underlook for me or something. Again, I'll see the final injury report whenever it comes out, but there's a lot to dislike about this game.
Yeah, when you have to get Cole Beasley to turn off Fox News to come play with Scotty Miller and Brashad Perryman, it's not a great situation here for the passing game and Tom Brady with an already depleted interior offensive line. So I think the one matchup I have the most confidence in here, believe it or not, is the Packers running game in this. And that's why I bet it early at Green Bay +3. You can flip a coin here at this point. I think that's not going to help anybody. There's no 3s left. Eli does like Tampa on the money line here. He rarely bets favorites, but he went and bet a -115. Again, you can go find that in his column on TheLines.com. But in terms of the running game for the Packers, they're facing a Tampa Bay. You mentioned the secondary, Adam. I agree with you. The coverage has been great. The secondary has been awesome. They've been a little bit vulnerable up front against the run. 19th and 22nd in win rates against the run, 30th in rush D success rate. That's tied with the Bears through 2 weeks, who just got gashed by Green Bay in the run game. I think that could be the Achilles heel in this one for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon to exploit. Green Bay top 10 in rush EPA and success rate. So with Akeem Hicks out up front for this Tampa front seven, I think that might be the one matchup I want to side with in this game that I feel like there is an advantage where everything else is just kind of flip a coin.